Welcome to West Yorkshire Sport. This is our Leeds United preview. I'm Katherine Hannah. Adam Pope, our Leeds commentator, alongside me. This weekend, Leeds United on the road again, away at Bolton. Steve Evans' second game in charge. Still looking for that first win, but a much improved performance away at Fulham. Team selection, first of all. What's he had to say to you today, Adam?
Picking from the same squad, Katherine, so still missing Charlie Taylor with this virus for another couple of weeks, but every chance he could go with the same team, but he did hint at making some changes. But I very much doubt that would include someone like Sam Byram, who was, you've got to say, revitalised on them in the draw at Fulham. So pretty similar, but I would accept maybe a few personnel to come in and out of the 18.
He has talked a little bit today about Alex Mowat in the same way that he dropped in Sam Byram's name and then started him. Do you think there's a possibility he might switch things around in midfield?
Well, I think one of the substitutions he made, and I thought the substitutions were decent on Wednesday night, was to take off Murphy. It could have been Murphy, it could have been Adeyemi, but he was very impressed with Adeyemi. And he made that switch. So I wonder if he's thinking that Murphy's still trying to get back to the level of where he was last season prior to his injury, get the tempo in his legs that he needs, and it is coming back for him. Maybe he'll think Alex Mowat, he knows he's lost his form from last season, but because he knows he's a really talented player there, so maybe it will be him to step into the breach tomorrow.
What's Steve Evans had to say about Bolton? You've had a pretty wretched season so far. They've only won one game, although saying that Leeds United have only won two, so let's not get too carried away on that front. What's Steve Evans had to say about Bolton's form? And big fan of their manager as well, isn't he, Neil Lennon?
Yeah, he says, look, I know we're expected to win, and we should win, he says. So their form has been wretched, I think, isn't it? They've not won in 6 games so far.
Last 3.
Yeah, and which was similar to Leeds before Evans came in, of course, and very poor at home, so sort of similar to Leeds like that at the moment. So, but no, a bit of a hero worship for Neil Lennon because of the Celtic connection, not so much as a player, he said, but more as a manager. So, but no, he's going in, like, I think, confident that they can do this, but you could see how much he does need that win and how much the club needs that win, and he talks about putting smiles back on faces. He says, look, there's millions of people in this city that need smiles back on faces, and it's my job to do that.
People, if you're going to be very cynical, will say, oh, well, they put in a good performance away at Fulham. It's new manager syndrome. So they need to put in another good performance and ideally get 3 points just to show that it's not a fluke and that Steve Evans does have what it takes to sort out this Leeds United side.
And that's what he said. He said, look, I've got the mouth for it. I need to put all those actions into words. So, and the thing with it, Fulham, quite rightly, he says, look, we didn't do anything other than get a draw. He was quite clear about that. It might feel like a win for a lot of people in the way we played, and the players certainly came off being very elevated. But he said, look, we played March On together in the team meeting before the game with the fans singing it. And he said, I've never thought of what I'd do if I celebrate a goal. He says, but this was the one night, if Antonucci had put that in right at the end and Joe Lewis made a worldie save, I would have gone and marched in front of the Leeds fans. So that's how he's feeling. That's how much he knows that they need this victory now, ahead of the visit to Blackburn on the Thursday afterwards, his first home game.
A couple of other things that we will talk about a lot more ahead of the game on Saturday. Firstly, there's been so much flying around about quotes attributed to Steve Evans. We've never been able to verify some of these, and you talked to him a little bit about that today, him allegedly saying, I would never manage Leeds United. Just talk us through briefly what he said on that front.
Yeah, dismissed it totally. It was that cruise liner Titanic quote, wasn't it, that was going around on Twitter, which I think a lot of people assumed was true. No, he said it's... He basically said, what a horrible thing to do to me to attribute that to Steve Evans, he said, speaking in the third person there on that one, which he likes to do. But no, he was... I mean, I don't think he's upset by it unduly because he says, I think it just comes with me, this sort of thing. So he's used to the criticism. The other thing also he came out with and said, look, I never emailed Massimo Cellino about the job ahead of Vivo Rosa leaving. So he was quite, because there's a report on that this morning, so he said, I never emailed him. So, so he knows, he's finding out what it is to be Steve Evans again, I think. Now he's back in management, and also what it's like to be a Leeds manager where everything will be scrutinised to the nth degree.
New faces, he didn't touch on that briefly. It's not going to happen before Bolton, but possibly something happening next week.
Yeah, he talked a bit about the areas. I think goalkeeper is one, certainly, in the absence of Ross Turnbull at the moment, and they are light in strikers. He can get Lee Irwin back in time for the Huddersfield game, a player that he liked and had wanted to try and someone who was at Rotherham, so he obviously has a good feeling here for the ex-Motherwell player who's at Bury at the moment. So I'd say there were probably 2 areas, but it will be Monday. He sat down and had dinner with Cellino last night, and so they're going to be talking about the recruitment going forward. But I think he basically was saying, look, I think things are going to happen. He really would like permanent stuff to happen, but I think in the short term the signs are looking promising. But loads of names get linked with Leeds again. Richard Wright, Matt Derbyshire, all these. But at the moment, we can't put a real name with any confidence to it.
So, for the time being, it's on a match-by-match basis. It's Leeds United away at Bolton. If you can't make the trip over there, then make sure you're listening to BBC Radio Leeds West Yorkshire Sport. Me, Adam, Noel Whelan, we will all be there from 2 o'clock. Join us if you can. Exclusive FM commentary on 92.4 FM. Freeview Channel 719 as well if you want to listen to us through your telly. And don't forget to follow the Leeds United Live blog too. There's loads of stuff on there. You can follow match-by-match, bits of progress, photos on there, quotes from like you and Noel, your comments and contributions as well. So that's well worth a look on Saturday afternoon from 2, bbc.co.uk/Leeds, and follow the links from there. So Leeds United away at Bolton, second game for Steve Evans. Will it be 3 points? Join us from 2 and find out.